We all have traumas, we all have issues, we all have problems. A lot of us are trying to heal, we're trying to resolve these problems, and with not much progress. And I think I've found the issue. This solution is a thing that many don't want this to be the solution, and it's vulnerability. Because being vulnerable, it scares the hell out of us. It's the worst fear. It's the fear of being seen truly as you are. But the thing is that being vulnerable will actually start a healing process, even if it don't feel like it and even if you can't see it. Let me explain how this works. You've probably heard and seen about the level of consciousness, this David Hawking's scale. And we have this lower level of emotions, and then we have this higher level of emotional states. And it's about vibration. When we are born, we basically are a really high vibration. And then there's a lot of these different experiences and happenings, events that create all types of drama and kind of this trauma. And depending on your childhood and how you've grown up, what kind of circumstances, the environment, you have a different set point of a vibration. And a lot of people think that you need to somehow kind of fix the issues. But if you think about like the ocean, and enlightenment is the surface of the ocean. And then you have all these other kind of lower frequency emotions and states of being, and they are kind of this under the water. The only thing you need to do to get back up is let go of them. And by being vulnerable, you let go of them. It's like a cork. And all these traumas are kind of like weights pulling down this cork. If you're able to acknowledge it, you're able to become aware of the weight that is hanging, and then you just accept it, it will kind of loosen its grip and the cork will start to get upwards. So being vulnerable is the only thing that will actually make you heal. And it's the thing, if you say to people like straight in their face that yeah, you just need to be vulnerable, like be honest and just kind of be yourself, they shut down because it's too scary. It's like, no, I have never done that, I cannot do that. And I have really interesting experiences. This example, this hair thing I have, alopecia, I've had it since I was like 8. Modern science has come to the conclusion that it's about emotional trauma and some kind of emotional damage that has happened in childhood. And that's why my immune system has turned on myself and kind of this issue came up. And when I was young, nobody knew any reason for hair falling off or anything like this. But nowadays, and especially when I've started to heal myself and being vulnerable, putting myself into situations, talking about the really difficult things that I never thought I was going to talk about, it's so crazy, my hair is starting to grow back. It's the ultimate proof for me that, wow, I thought that it's about medications. I thought about it's about how I eat and all these things, but actually it's about my emotional state and stored emotions, because that's essentially what trauma is negative emotion that gets stored in the body, and they keep kind of a memory of it. And only by releasing that emotion, you can start to heal. And it's so easy to kind of keep running and doing all kinds of stuff, keeping busy, because it feels so difficult to sit with these difficult things and emotions. And I used to do that. I used to wear a hat everywhere. I used to avoid going to to kind of these swimming pools and stuff, even when I love swimming. It's so crazy. I stopped living because I didn't want to feel this type of shame and this kind of just these weird unworthiness feelings. But when I started to do that, and I've created like different videos and I've created all kinds of stuff and put myself out there, it starts to resolve itself. And only by being vulnerable, kind of having this safe space. And that's what I'm really glad I have a good relationship where I can kind of open up, and it's been a really good safe container during the years. And I heard a quote that said that healing happens in the presence of an empathetic witness. This is what my coaching is about. This is what true coaching is about, is being present and being empathetic. It's kind of like therapy, but with more open-mindedness, because therapy has a really strict set of rules on how they can do and what they're supposed to give advice to. So coaching is about creating the space for the person to be vulnerable, because that's when all the right answers will just reveal themselves. And so often we think that we need like these external strategies, we need all kinds of advice and whatnot, but actually what we need is a safe place to feel, and then kind of a safe place to share, being vulnerable and really letting out what has been bothering you. Because when we are born, we are complete, we are healed, we are perfect. We kind of take this baggage on ourselves, and we don't know that when we're kids. We just do the best to survive. We think that, oh, we need to take on these other people's problems and we need to blame ourselves for some external happening. Someone abandoned you or took advantage of you. The only way to heal, and this is a paradox, is by just feeling it and being vulnerable and letting it out. And I know this goes into more esoteric concepts, and I didn't believe in this, but I know because I've experienced it myself, and I don't really care about any information other than experience. That's why I don't share any knowledge read in a book with you. I share knowledge from experience because that's what I believe in. That's kind of when you wake up to the whole schooling system, the mass media system and all these, you start to question all the knowledge, because knowledge is just useless if there isn't any experience. And wisdom comes from experience. You can only become wise when you put yourself out there. When you put yourself out there and you become vulnerable, that's when the real thing happens. And this is the thing that I just did. It's like a really weird habit of mine of thinking like, wow, someone saw my hair. Wow, oh shit. And it makes me feel kind of this, oh, there's something wrong with me. But nowadays I catch myself and I'm like, so what? Who cares? And that's what has given me strength to being vulnerable of everything else. So the only takeaway you should take from this video is to be brave and kind of search for these environments and these people where you can actually be vulnerable, because there's so much potential in you when you kind of take yourself out of the way and go and do these things, because that's how you start to find your purpose also, by being vulnerable, because that will start to reveal yourself to yourself, if you at all understands that. However deep you are in this ocean, By letting go and being vulnerable, you will naturally start to kind of get up here. And when you get to places of joy and kind of real, fully embodied purpose, and you know that, wow, these things actually matter what I do, it's a completely different life. How good it feels when you release some emotions. It's really hard to explain before you actually get these experiences, but I know 100% sure just by being vulnerable to the right people in the right places, you have a safe space, you understand that you are enough even with all these wounds and issues and problems and negative traits. That's when life starts to become beautiful. And that's when you will naturally start to find your purpose, because there isn't these internal blocks anymore. And that's when you start following the thing you actually want to do. And then there comes excitement, and then you just start to follow excitement, and life becomes this adventure without these strict rules and systems of how you should live and whatnot. And that's my aim with this. If I can help people to be more excited, to follow more of their passion, then I've done my job, because that's what's giving me fulfillment at the moment. So if you need help, I have a link in the description you can check out. I have a coaching service. Check out my website. You get more information there. Other than that, realize that you can just let go of things, be vulnerable, and you will make your life better, because you will raise your frequency. If that isn't cool, I don't know what is. That's gonna be it for this video. My name is Mitz, your future purpose, here to help you find more fulfillment, more joy, more purpose in your life. See you in the future.